And another episode has miraculously appeared on this channel. Can you believe it? We're actually 2 episodes in. It's 2 in a row.
It's funny that you use the word miraculous, considering that it got moved from Wednesday to Friday, us recording. And it's like 2 hours later recording, 3 hours later recording than we normally record.
Well,
so it is kind of a miracle.
Well, in our case,
and we're missing a person.
Well, El Guapo's got some visa problems going on right now, so he's got to deal with that at the moment. I think Trump had just put the final brick in the wall, and now he's still trying to struggle his way over.
He hasn't bought that 11-foot ladder yet.
He's having a talk with El Chapo about it right now. Let's just go with that. Anyways, we've got lots to talk about.
We did say that we were going to talk about King of the Ring 1995, but we're going to save that for episode 3 because Guapo will be more informative about that than I am.
Oh God. That was the most hilariously great bad pay-per-view of all time. That's the sad thing. I had so much to say about it.
Well, for next week.
That ain't right.
Anyway. So this week, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we do have a breaking bulletin right now. Breaking bulletin would be that AEW...
As of like an hour ago, it feels like.
Well, as of this recording. AEW, Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, as he has deemed himself as, has been released from the WWE.
There are lots of different speculations as to why. A lot of the stuff that I've seen on dirt sheets, so, take it with a grain of salt, are that he asked for his release after being relegated to the cruiserweight division, and I don't blame him.
Let's get this right, shall we? This man, who, out of all the guys that you've got in the cruiserweight division, probably the best mic worker that you can possibly have, you throw him in a division you clearly have no fucks to give. Like, literally, you can reach into your pocket right now and hand them literally nothing in your hand because you have no fucks there. There's nothing that you have for this division, and you put him in there clearly just for him to wither away.
And then you don't even give him the title.
That was even stranger. I was there at Mania, and I was a little like, what? I think it's because Neville's just doing such a great job with this character.
He is, but still.
Well, what do you want me to say? This company is back-asswards. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Well, just when you think they're doing some, like, good stuff, and you're like, okay, WWE's doing good, they're bringing these guys in, they're showcasing these other guys that we like. I mean, they're still trying to make this Roman Reigns thing a thing, but,
you still don't like them?
know.
You still don't like what they want you to like? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently. I've always said I don't mind Roman Reigns, but, back to the point at hand.
He's got blue eyes.
This is, this is a waste. I don't know. I mean, Austin Aries is clearly going to he's going to go back to ROH. He's going to go back to wherever and be super successful. He does not need WWE.
Yeah. I mean, what really is there to say? He didn't do anything there. He wrestled in NXT for quite a while. They never gave him the title. I don't even know if he ever fought for the title.
I don't think he ever got the NXT title.
No, but did he even ever fight for it?
I don't remember.
I know he never won it because around the time that he was there, that was when, fucking Samoa Joe was the champion. So, and he was defending against Nakamura and all that. So, no, of course not. Why would he want to stay in a company that clearly has nothing for him? Especially when, if you know the type of guy Austin Aries is, judging by who you talk to that has actually talked to him, he's a very opinionated guy. He ain't gonna fucking just sit there.
Just follow his Twitter for more than an hour, and you'll see how opinionated he is.
And there ain't anything wrong with that. I've met the guy before. Think he's a pleasant guy to talk to. I think you just gotta wither through the sense of humor that he has. Otherwise, decent person. And I think he can I think he's already made a successful living in the independents. And he's gonna continue to do so. Until his body just does not give a shit anymore and just says, fuck you.
But still, Austin Aries is gone. I don't know that anybody's very surprised that he would ask for his release, if that's what happened.
Well, speaking of asking for releases, and you were telling me this before we started the podcast, apparently it's not true, quote unquote, but we don't know. Let's just say a certain unemployed guy asked for his release.
Oh, and his cousin, too.
Yeah, cousin.
Both
brother.
Colognes.
Both Colognes. No, wait. There's only one Cologne here that's unemployed right now, and that's Primo. The guy...
The other one is now unemployed.
Dude, I swear to God, I don't understand why they did not give the Heath Slater gimmick to Primo. It would have been so fucking epic, and they so would have been, like, winking at me, theoretically, on the television screen to me. Saying, like, I see where you're going with this. I gave Primo such... Did I ever tell you this story? When I went to WrestleMania Access 28, this was Miami. He was doing autographs. And keep in mind, when I went up to get his autograph, he was a total prick to me. And I could completely understand. I dedicated a joke that may not be favorable to you. Okay? But I think it's funny because every time everyone kept saying to me, see, he has a job. He's filling out autographs. I keep saying, no, he's filling out job applications. Big difference. I'm just saying. Nobody wants to believe me. I don't get it. They think that I'm Alex Jones or something, that I come out with this shit off the top of my head. It ain't right. It ain't right one bit. Anyways.
I think that's all we have for releases. People that have been let go of...
there's one more thing we gotta talk about before we get to our Raw and SmackDown. I mentioned this to you in the messages, and you were like, hell yes. Can we talk about how much of a tool Del Rio is?
Oh my god. Well, let's just say first that Impact, although I hear they're going to start changing that now that they're Global Force Wrestling and everything, Impact is kind of the place where wrestlers who get mad at WWE and leave and take their ball and go home kind of thing, go, and then they get to say whatever about WWE. And it just makes them look like sad. It's really sad. Like, I understand venting your aggression because you're like, I hate that company, they didn't do anything with me, blah, blah, blah. But then you go to this clearly smaller company that's not doing as well, is struggling, and you talk about yourself like you're this big shit on this big show. They're talking like they're, like, jumped ship from WWE to WCW back in the day.
Oh, God. No, this is... The reason why this Del Rio one is the worst, ultimately, is because of so many different things. Number one, he's bringing Paige down with him. Now...
Yep. I'm sure WWE's going to hang on to her contract just as long as they possibly can. If they can... You know, because sometimes what they'll do is if you're gone because of injury, they'll take those days that you were injured and add them back to the end of your contract and shit.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio.
They are going to hold on to her contract as long as possible. And I'm telling you, she's going to be staring at her watch, waiting for the minute that she can be on TV somewhere else. And she will be on Impact. Guaranteed.
That's a two-way street, all right? Like, Paige is a grown woman. She can do whatever the hell she wants. She wants to be with this guy. More fucking power to her. I'm just saying, I wish you Godspeed, but I think the guy that you are dating is a little bit unhinged, because he's the type of guy that goes around and punches people if they say anything about him, which is not a real practical way to be dealing with criticism of you. Now, that's part of it. The other part of it is, I'm just so flabbergasted, because this guy, he's not a terrible wrestler by any means. He's very good. But this is a guy that never lived up to his true potential. Dos Caras Jr., who, I'm about to get to that. There's a reason I brought up Dos Caras Jr., seeing as that was his gimmick before he got to WWE. I want this to be brought into people's mind. This guy won the 40-man Royal Rumble match. First ever and only ever. He got to go into his first WrestleMania in the title match and had the privilege to wrestle Edge in his last match. This guy got to win the WWE title twice, beating John Cena for it and CM Punk. He has gotten Money in the Bank. He won, literally, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, and the title in his first year. He then wins the World Heavyweight title twice, beating Big Show and Dolph Ziggler, despite people loving Dolph Ziggler to death. He leaves, comes back, gets his United States title on his first freaking night, and then he gets it again after Kalisto only had it for a day. And this guy wants to go off and say that I was treated poorly? Okay, sure, there were times where you were dragged off into nothing. Sure, by all means. But to say that this company screwed you over, give me a break. They gave you more than what you needed or deserved. And to top it off, if you hate the company so much, why are you still continuing with your Del Rio gimmick, or Alberto El Patron, when before you even got there, the rumor was you were pissed off that you had to be demasked because you were Dos Caras Jr. and, Mexico masked. They're like, if you demask somebody, that's like trying to put a fucking satanic cross on the Holy Bible. Fuck! You got the whole world in your hands. You were literally Bray Wyatt before Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt. Fuck.
I don't really have much to add to that. I mean, you could... I have to preface this with, one, I've talked about this on Spaz's podcast. Side note, if you want to hear what my predictions are for Great Balls of Fire, go watch Spaz Phoenix channel. Anyways, I've talked about it on his channel before. I don't know Paige or Del Rio personally. The only thing I know about their relationship is based on what I see on Twitter. And it's so, to me, it just looks so one-sided. I feel kind of bad for her because clearly she's like over the moon in love with him. And clearly he's just like, I have a hot young chick now after, cheating on my wife and divorcing her. Now I have this hot 22-year-old who, cause her Twitter is just full of pictures of him. Just taking pictures of him and look how hot my poppy is. And if you go on his, nothing.
You're an obsession. You're my obsession. Who do you want it?
But what do I know? Maybe he's just more private about it. But
Yeah,
good.
Del Rio private.
Yeah, good. I've not liked Alberto Del Rio. I was never really a huge fan of him anyways. I say good riddance. I'm sad that he's taking Paige with him, but that's her life. That's her life choices.
See, again, I wouldn't even have a problem with Del Rio per se. If he has a problem with the company, that's fine. I don't know you personally. I'm not here to take pot shots at you personally because I don't know you. You may be a very great guy. I don't know. I just find it quite odd that every time that I have to turn on my damn computer and go on Facebook or go on whatever to keep up with TNA, I have to keep hearing that you're slandering the company that did everything in their power to bend over backwards for you.
And make you popular.
I mean, they did more for you than Punk, alright? People want to complain, Punk, oh yeah, he got the whole world. They did more for Del Rio than they did for Punk.
In a shorter time than Punk.
In a shorter time.
It took Punk years to get that stuff that he got at the end.
And even then, like the 434-day title reign, he barely main evented pay-per-views. So it was like, it's sort of like the Jinder Mahal reign. It's just like, okay, we're going to give it to you because of the... And even then, they have more motivation to give it to Jinder Mahal than they did CM Punk. Their motivation was, oh, well, this guy's got a lot of popularity. But beside the point, Del Rio, you've had the whole world handed to you on a silver platter in that company. I mean, the only thing you could complain about is, okay, a couple of times they left you directionless.
Yeah, talk to Dolph Ziggler, man.
Yeah, why don't you talk to Dolph Ziggler, who for the last few years have been lost in a fucking shuffle. Why don't you talk, before The Miz started doing this character, how lost he was in the shuffle. Hell, even Dean Ambrose! Just saying.
Bayley.
Oh, forget
half of the Raw women's division.
Maybe like 3/4. If your name isn't Charlotte, if your name isn't Alexa Bliss, and if your name isn't Becky Lynch or Carmella.
Sasha Banks.
Even Sasha, they don't really give... Like, they give her the title, but then they take it off of her. It's like... Yeah and no at the same time with Sasha.
Alright, anything else on that note?
C. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Good riddance, Alberto Del Douchebag. Moving on.
I didn't say that. If you want to get violent,
I
there
did.
she is. Here she is. You talk about slapping an employee. Let's see you slap her. I want to see that. See if you have the gall to do it. I'm just saying. And no, I'm not inciting violence against women. I'm just saying the man likes to throw threats around. Here you go. I'm just saying.
Do you want to talk about Raw first or SmackDown first?
Might as well Raw, because Raw came on first.
Okay. Monday Night Raw, we had at the very beginning of the show, Enzo Amore kicks it off with a big promo, essentially saying how he's going to take Cass down. It was a really good promo.
It was a long one, but yes, it was good. It's just that I part of me takes him seriously when he talks, but then when he starts moving and his hair starts wiggling back and forth, I can't help but crack up. I'm sorry. And I still cannot call him Enzo ever since Chris Jericho called him Esno. It's like, in my mind, I call him Esno. I'm sorry. That's what he is to me.
I thought it was a really good promo. I think this feud is going to be too short. I think essentially Cass is going to come out on top, and the best possible case scenario for Enzo is if they put him in the cruiserweight division, which I think the cruiserweight division could use somebody who's good on the mic, especially with the loss of Austin Aries now.
Here's my only thing. They've shown that they don't care about the cruiserweight division, and adding anybody, when they throw somebody like an Enzo into that division, they're not throwing them there to help elevate the division. They're throwing them there to devalue that individual.
Well, it's either that or he ends up with the Jamie Noble role of he says shit backstage and then ends up in a jobber match.
The only thing I'll say is I'll live with that as long as Corey Graves commentates it every time. I will take it. Corey Graves, for whatever reason, has this undeniable hatred for Enzo. And it's
Spaz brought up the idea on our last podcast because, it was a little weird, that whole storyline where, like, Corey Graves was doing this investigative journalist thing during this whole angle and everything, and he's the one that exposed Cass at the very end. Mm-hmm. I wanted to hear what you thought of this idea. If they had made Corey Graves Cass's mouthpiece, he would stay on commentary, but just for like Cass's matches, he would be Cass's mouthpiece.
So in other words, he would not ever do commentary unless Cass was wrestling.
No, he would do commentary all the rest of the time except when Cass was wrestling. Or maybe just escort him to the ring and then go back to commentary table and, like, do promos for him and stuff.
First off, if Cass is going to cut the promos that he's been cutting recently, he wouldn't even need Corey Graves. But
I still think Cass is a little weak on the mic. He's a lot better than he was. But I still think he's a little weak.
Well, he's not doing that whole, whatchamacallit, soft gimmick anymore. Which, I'm still disappointed they won't go with my idea. Just let him say it for once. Go on the mic and talk about how he wants to be cut. You know what? This is his new gimmick. He's a grammar Nazi, alright? He's gonna come out with the Nazi music. And anybody that spells anything wrong, like on the pages, like, you know, sometimes WWE will have a typo here and there. He must invade that fucking page. It'd be awesome. He could be the new Benito Mussolini. Same exact ethnicity. It works. I'm
just letting you go on this rant.
I'm just saying, it would be so fucking epic. Colin Mussolini. That'll be his new name. What do you think? I think it'd be perfect.
I got nothing.
Come on, this is such great written material. Oh, by the way, I have to make mention of this before we continue. My great storyline for this week. I wrote this on Cult of Kayfabe. Okay? On NXT, Hunter needs to shake things up.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's going to start a new faction. He's going to put Heath Slater, Hideo Itami, and Harambe. And they're all going to be in a group. And he's going to call the group Triple H. Alright?
Boo. Nope.
This is perfect.
Boo.
One will represent Blue Blood Triple H. One will represent, DX Triple H. And one will represent Cerebral Assassin Triple H. This is his...
I miss Guapo, because he would at least indulge you when you go on these rants.
Yes, we need Guapo to, like, put some sort of, like, enthusiasm to this. It's perfect! I'm telling you! Harambe will be the next NXT World Champion. That's the whole purpose. He wants to shake up NXT.
I got nothing.
Hideo will start coming out with the blue blood. And, Heath Slater will start, like, telling people to suck it on a PG show. What is it on Wrestling Isn't Wrestling? Booger, cocky, fart. There you go. Anyways, back to Raw.
Anyways, I thought Enzo's segment was really good. Best quote of the night was, "You're nothing more than a 7-foot catchphrase that I wrote." But they're going to have a match at Great Balls of Fire. I don't think Enzo's going to win. I think they're going to give it to Cass. And I predict, really, that we're never going to get that gratifying, like, ending. We're never going to get that. We're never going to get that where Enzo, like, wins. Like, that gratification.
Oh, okay.
Or if we do, it's going to be like, shit, what was that guy's name? That's how sad this is. The guy that was Mrs. like...
Oh, Alex Riley?
Yes. Alex Riley all over again. Or if he does get his moment, nothing's going to happen after that.
You know, it's funny, that line that he said, "You're just a 7-foot catchphrase that I wrote." When I first heard it, I thought he said that you're the 7-foot catchphrase that I rode. I had to listen to it again to find out he said wrote. Because I thought that would have been a little bit odd that you rode a 7-foot catchphrase. Just saying.
Let's see. Next segment, Bailey and Sasha versus Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Bailey gets taken out early on in the match, so essentially it's a handicap match. Heels against the one face. and she prevails.
How did she win again?
She wins by submission.
To who?
Put the bank statement on,
I'm sorry.
On Alexa Bliss.
Okay, alright. Because I was going to say, the last time I saw Sasha Banks put on a bank statement on somebody was Nia Jax, and I did not agree with that at all. That was just me personally, and having her tap out twice to that would have just really put a sour taste in my mouth. But, regardless, I still don't like Sasha Banks, so it still put a sour taste in my mouth. Anyways, now, don't get me wrong, I do not hate Sasha Banks the same way that your buddy Spaz over there hates Naomi. Because I am not going to go on an hour-long rant about why I don't like Sasha. Because
the problem with this segment is that Bayley is clearly an afterthought, and when Bayley moved to the main roster, I felt like her character was that this would happen to her character. That was almost like Two-Face for Raw to handle.
Yeah.
Well, because NXT handled it pretty well, because she was still like, the character she is right now, but it was very believable that she would had that intensity to be able to win.
Yeah.
Because they built it up. Raw just can't do that. For whatever reason, they can't handle Raw thrives on having a really good heel, somebody who's a really good heel, and whoever's face is face because that other person is heel, not because they are a great face per se, but because the heel is just a really good heel. Not all the time, but I feel like a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, because, again, the big thing with the Raw Women's Division, and even Smackdown, we talked about this on the last edition, is that they try way too hard to market the whole, oh my god, we've got a women's revolution, the first ever women's Hell in a Cell, the first ever women's ladder match, the first ever women's Royal Rumble, the first ever women's cunnilingus. Who the fuck, seriously, why can't it just be built organically? What's wrong with just taking two women and creating a storyline, I don't like you, or I want that belt, something so fucking simple yet effective, and then building upon that. You did it with Sasha Banks and Bayley on NXT. It worked because it was simple and not overly convoluted. And, on top of that, it wasn't any, women's revolution. Because, think about this. I want this to be a thought. Remember 2 years ago when they had that match, and then 2 days later, in the very same exact building, the women were getting fucking literally booed out of the building, and they were cheering Miz, telling them to shut the hell up. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
I don't know. This match could have been fixed so many ways by, I don't know, having Nia Jax abandon Alexa Bliss at the end of the match, because clearly they're not going to get along, and clearly if Alexa Bliss wins against Sasha, that's the next opponent, is Nia. I don't know. Raw is having trouble with their women's division, and they don't have to. They don't have to have trouble with their women's division, but they do.
They're lucky to have Alexa Bliss that has a good promo. That's pretty much it. Great promo, actually.
Next up, we had Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar's back and forth interview and their video packages.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I feel like you have some shit to say. Go ahead.
No. I laugh when Brock is on the television because every time I'm always afraid he's going to say something so outlandish, like the time that he said to Heath Slater, I don't give a shit about your kids. So, I'm always afraid. Part of me was thinking, remember that old feud with Samoa Joe and Scott Steiner in TNA, where Scott Steiner kept calling him fat, and there was one where he goes up to the interviewer, the female interviewer, and says, "Who would you rather be with, me or Samoa Joe?" And And she's like, oh, I think Joe's kind of nice. And he's like, yeah, you're probably the type of girl that goes into churches and libraries. Or some stupid shit.
What?
Some dumb shit like that. It was the same promo where he was doing a math equation of him, Kurt Angle, and Samoa Joe in a triple threat. But regardless, I thought Brock Lesnar was going to say something stupid like, you're going to take splinters out of your fat asses or something stupid. He was going to, for some reason, the inner Scott Steiner was going to, like, patrol in him and go after Samoa Joe. And it would have been so fucking awesome. I swear to God, they need to just let Scott Steiner, even though he talks shit about WWE, just be like, talk as much shit as you want, come on to our show, be a commentator or something. Or a ring announcer. Either or.
Scott Steiner.
Yeah!
Yeah, he can't be trusted with a mic.
Dude.
On a PG show.
Oh, God. Especially when he did the TNA show where he did the ring announcing, where he said there was a handicap match where it was like 4-on-1, but he said, like, he was trying to explain the rules, and he goes, in other words, 4 bitches against 1! It's great. Scott Steiner is the man. Anyway.
Well, back to this. A serious question. Say Samoa Joe doesn't win the Universal Championship for Brock, which I think would be a mistake, but whatever. Who do you think realistically poses if not Joe, then who takes on Brock Lesnar seriously? Like that we believe can match his level of intensity.
Roman Reigns, unfortunately.
Boo. Well, that's true, but boo.
It's boo. There was another guy that I can point to that could possibly, but certain qualities may hinder people's thoughts on that, especially one Vince Russo, and that would be Finn Balor.
See, I had that discussion with Spaz, and he practically laughed at me, saying that he would not be able to take, if you put Finn Balor and you stand him right up against Brock Lesnar, that it's, like, statute-wise, like,
talking about size.
Laughable. Yes.
All right. See,
yes.
This is my biggest problem with that argument. Okay. Now I know. I am referring to a completely different topic that's not wrestling related. But I want to talk about a guy who was 5'7", about maybe 170 pounds, but at one time he was considered the most deadliest human being on the face of the earth. Nobody had the balls to, like, ever challenge this guy into a fight. Like, literally, he is one of the most iconic people in the history of everything. That guy's name was Bruce Lee. This guy was not a big guy, but motherfuckers look at him and say they wouldn't fight this guy because he knew how to fight. Now, Finn Balor, I understand he's not a martial artist per se, but he does have something that's going for him. He has a gimmick called the Demon King, which obviously gives him some sort of leverage. I'm just saying. You use that against Bork Laser, you have something. You have something.
See, that's what I said.
And not only that,
I said it on Spaz's show. The Demon, to me, I don't feel like it should come out every pay-per-view, which clearly it doesn't. I don't feel like it should come out every pay-per-view. It comes out on those pay-per-views where Finn Balor's like, I need an extra bump to be able to beat this guy. Like, I need to turn this up to 11, and I need that extra intimidation. Like, I see it in one of these matches where it's like, it's the, like, no disqualification or hardcore, like, one of these, like, end of feud matches where he just needs to bring it up to an 11. But anyways.
Yeah.
I said Finn Balor too, and I almost got laughed at.
Well, realistically, we're talking Raw here. So there's nobody else that they have built recently that could stand a blessed chance.
I think Samoa Joe
Oh!
wins a great. Go ahead.
I take it back. Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Forgot about him. How could I forget the great Braun Strowman? I must be punished for this.
Well, me wanting Samoa Joe to win at Great Balls of Fire is a little selfish on my point. I am so sick of having an absentee champion. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with the absentee champion.
Are you saying
I want my champion back on Raw.
Come on. You don't like the part-timers?
I'm over it. I understand giving it to him for a little while. It's even a good thing sometimes if that title disappears for like a couple months, because then, you know, you put more emphasis on the tag titles, the Intercontinental title, Cruiserweight titles. You put on the other titles you have. I get that. And it kind of adds this mystique to Brock Lesnar because he's not there all the time. It's too long now. I want my champion back on Raw.
I don't know. I have a feeling you're not sports entertained.
I am not sports entertained.
Yeah.
I am not sports entertained. Next match. Cruiserweight. Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar. Does anybody really care at this point?
Cedric Alexander
versus
Noam Dar.
It's the stupid feud between him and Alicia Fox and
No. Alicia Fox.
Whatever.
Alicia Fox.
Does anybody care anymore?
Oh, I care because Vince McMahon tells me to care. Alright? If Vince tells me to care, then I care. If he tells me to jump, I ask him how the fuck high. As high as Braun Strowman. Or RVD. Whatever you choose. I'm just saying. Anyway.
That is all we have to say about that, right?
Yeah. I plead the fifth on this angle.
Let's see. Miz tries to salvage that awfulness that was last week's Ball.
Oh, the beautiful thing.
Miz TV. And he has an angle with Dean Ambrose, Heath Slater, and Rhino. Which leads to Kurt Angle coming out and essentially saying, hey, Heath Slater beat you last, therefore he's going to get an Intercontinental title shot tonight.
That's right. And they had a pretty decent match for Heath Slater and The Miz, especially since now with WWE constantly incorporating a lot of the indie darlings to their show, they kept up well. I mean, listen, The Miz is not a fantastic performer. Never has been. But it's like he said, the style that he wrestles allows him to be able to do it for 10 plus years without getting hurt. And it's
there's not a lot of people in WWE that can say that.
Jericho.
Chris Jericho is the only other one that I can think of.
Yeah, and Jericho wrestled a much more tough style, but I digress. The Miz has always been great at what he can deliver on, which is a character that you can hate. He's always been very good at that. The only problem is the machine has never been totally behind him in that regard. Suffice to say, Heath Slater, Miz, he put on a fine little match.
Well, and it was a nice break from the constant Miz versus Dean Ambrose that we've been getting the last month or two.
Well, here's the thing you gotta remember. WWE, the way they book their Raws and Smackdowns is they play Universe Mode on their games, and they just regenerate this shit, because in Universe Mode, if anybody knows, they have the same match every show. It's the same shit. That's what they do.
I'm ready for somebody else, somebody new to move into the Intercontinental title picture. I don't know, maybe Apollo Crews. with this whole Titus brand thing he's got going on. I feel like Miz and Titus would have really good back and forth with each other because clearly Titus would be the mouthpiece.
Wait, his name's Apollo Crews?
Yeah, I know, huh?
I always just referred to him as the black guy who smiles.
Aw, why you gotta hate on Apollo Crews, man?
I don't hate on him. I never did hate on him. The WWE just never gave me a reason to give a shit about him.
That's true.
Until Titus O'Neil came in.
You know what would make you give a shit? Intercontinental title run.
Actually, what would make me give a shit about Apollo Crews is a character.
That's true. That's true. But, one thing at a time.
Yeah. But forgo the title run because it's like the old saying. The wrestler makes the title doesn't make the wrestler. So I would prefer them work on Apollo, which they are. I ain't gonna take that away. They're working on Apollo, and they're working on Akira Tozawa at the same time. So, and Titus O'Neil, I think, is fine for that role.
We were talking about this the other day. I like the idea that this Titus brand just keeps. Maybe he incorporates a tag team later on. The idea has been discussed of maybe Apollo Crews has this losing streak. And Titus says, you know what, we're going to get you a title. And then they become the tag team champions, Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of expanding this whole Titus O'Neil brand. I'm starting to really like the Titus brand.
It's getting two guys to get some sort of emphasis on them, so I have no issues with it.
So next we have the Shattered Truth segment. Yeah, that's a great way to describe how I feel about this feud.
I'm still
that noise.
I'm still wondering. Did I seriously bump into Doc Brown, hop in a DeLorean, and went back to the year 1996? I'm still wondering.
Clearly you're not in 1996 because the Gold Dust gimmick would be interesting then.
But see, here's the thing.
It's like they took Miz's gimmick and made it more avant-garde. And that's it.
Listen. Take that as both a compliment and as an insult. An insult because obviously Goldust is still on our TV for 20 years. But it's a compliment because the guy still looks the same. Kudos to him. He's got himself into shape. He still can move. Mazel tov to the guy, as CM Punk said.
But, they're just not going to do anything else with him.
That's the problem. You don't have the wig. You don't have the robe. You don't have the Marlino. You don't have anything. He's just... And then R-Truth, he doesn't even have little Jimmy anymore. They don't do shit with R-Truth.
That was the best version of R-Truth, when he was just crazy.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, man.
He was just an insane person talking to somebody who wasn't there.
I'm going to say something controversial right now.
That's not new.
True. You do not... Anyways. 2011, I preferred R-Truth over CM Punk.
How dare you, sir?
How dare thou? How dare thee? That is reprehensible.
Whoa, hang on. Can I do a breaking news?
Oh, there's more news?
The WWE app has just informed me that AJ Styles defeated Kevin Owens, winning the U.S. title during a WWE live event in Madison Square Garden.
Damn, and I didn't get to go.
So, there you go. AJ Styles is your new United States champion. But we could talk more about AJ when we get to Smackdown.
It's sad because I don't live far from the Garden. I am actually a bus ride there. I could have gone tonight. It was on a Friday night, but I don't want to go.
But instead, you chose this podcast.
Yes, because I care about you.
Thanks.
I care about you as much as I care about the mold in between my toes. That
I don't know what to do about that.
exactly. Just either take it for what you will, okay?
Okay, moving on.
Anyways.
Next we had Seth Rollins versus Kurt Hawkins.
Wow.
He put him away in one move, which essentially is his new finisher.
Oh, Kurt Hawkins put Seth Rollins away.
Yeah, no.
Are you telling me that this match was predictable?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
And then he went on a rant to Bray Wyatt, saying he's not a god and that he was a coward.
Oh, yeah. And then Bray Wyatt showed up on the screen. I think he was in a cactus field.
Oh, no. That was later on in the night.
Oh, okay.
It was not the same time.
That's why I
Unless
have you here.
Unless you have any objections to moving past that nothing of the thing. Neville versus Mustafa Ali. I never pronounced that guy's name right.
Was that the same guy that fought Neville on the Raw after WrestleMania where Beach Bowl Mania happened?
I think so.
That was so fucking funny. Being there live, that was hilarious. That was the greatest shit ever. Anyways, just thought I'd throw it out there.
Neville wins.
LOL.
Yeah, that's it. Neville wins.
See how interesting this division is? I'm just saying.
And then we had the Bray Wyatt in the desert promo. Which is, a Bray Wyatt promo, but it's hot outside now.
I'm a god.
But now it's hot out.
I'm the eater of worlds. I got the whole world in my hands.
And it's very hot outside.
Run or whatever, and then do it, and that's it.
We've said it last time. Bray Wyatt's feud is the same feud every single time, and I don't think that's his fault.
It's the material he's given.
I don't think that's his fault. But it's just kind of boring now. And when he moved to Raw, I was pretty sure he was gonna suffer a little bit. He was doing much better, much more interesting things on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody's doing much more interesting things on SmackDown than Raw.
That's true, but SmackDown isn't perfect, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, name me anything in life that's perfect other than Kurt Hennig. Just saying.
Finn Balor's abs.
Velvet Sky's ass.
I have no opinion on that. Isn't she married to Bubba Ray?
No, they are dating though.
Are they dating? Okay, I thought they got married. Good for you, Bubba Ray.
Maybe they are married. I don't know, but yes, good for you, Bubba Ray. That seems like a more stable relationship, unlike another pasty English woman with a very stubborn aristocrat.
I'm trying to guess what you're making a reference to, and I got nothing.
You really don't know who I'm talking about.
Nope. Please
tell me that's sarcasm.
It is not.
Paige and Del Rio?
Oh, okay. Sorry,
No! Okay, here.
I'm so over them that I just blocked them out of my mind.
Let's see. Here's you. The joke went that way. Here, go catch it. It's over there.
Yep. Nope. Missed it. Sorry.
Damn. It hit my Gus Fring pop vinyl thing from Breaking Bad. Anyway.
Yep. Missed it.
Anyway.
Finn Balor versus Cesaro.
Now, when you say Finn Balor versus Cesaro, that's gonna be some fucking great shit.
It was also announced right before this match that the tag team match that Matt and Jeff Hardy are going to have with Sheamus and Cesaro is going to be a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Look, dude, you have no idea. From the emphasis of my voice, that is so awesome. I am so excited to see these guys go 30 minutes.
I was going to say that I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or not, and then you said the second statement, and now I'm more clear.
Yes. See, now we have a hard time trying to catch each other's. We are so perfect in sarcasm that we sound serious to people.
Exactly. Elias Sampson comes out, tries to distract Finn Balor, but he still wins.
The Drifter. He's great.
The Drifter. Actually, apparently he's not the Drifter anymore.
I don't give a fuck.
Apparently they do not refer to him as the Drifter anymore.
He's the Drifter to me. I'm sorry. Because every time I'm on Skype with my girlfriend watching Raw, the first thing I gotta say, because she cracks up because the way I say it, I'm like, he's a Drifter. It's great. And she starts giggling, and then he starts singing. And then I have to tell her, shh, quiet. He's going to steal the show with a fucking top-notch performance. Bob Dylan couldn't touch the shit. Like a Rolling Stone, like Elias Sampson.
I'm just happy that they have Finn Balor doing something.
Yes, he's feuding with a Drifter. It's awesome. Oh my god. Think about it for a second. He could be feuding with anybody. He could be feuding with a garbage man, Duke the Dumpster Drozy. He could be feuding with a hockey player, the Goon. He could be feuding with a circus clown, Doink. No, they have him feuding with a Drifter. It's fucking awesome. It's almost as awesome as Wendy's Chicken Nuggets. Bar none. Anyways, good match.
Agreed. Last match of the night, Braun Strowman versus Apollo Crews.
Oh my god,
Strowman
so awesome.
Pretty much almost murders Apollo Crews. Oh. Breaks him in half with his foot.
Oh yeah, there was one spot where Apollo was making a comeback, and Braun was laying on the ground, and so Apollo was going for his signature standing moonsault, and as he did the moonsault, Braun just picked up his feet and shoved him, and fucking Apollo flew head first to the ropes. That was the funniest fucking thing I had seen all night. Now I'm at a point where I'm debating, was that funny? As funny as when he threw Kalisto in the garbage. I am having a tough time. Decisions.
End of the match. Afterwards, Roman Reigns spears Strowman off the stage.
Well, you forgot one tidbit.
What?
After the match, I think he attacked Titus. Ambulance comes out. He goes up to the ambulance. Oh, no. Yeah, the ambulance comes out. He throws Apollo in it. And he tries to signal the ambulance to go away. He doesn't. And then he opens up the door.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Power slams him. O'Neal tries to fight the big man. Strowman mauls him too. Strowman carries his crews into the ambulance, shuts the door. The driver doesn't pull away as instructed. Reigns reveals himself to be in the cab. He storms out. The two brawl until neither man can get up. Straight from the Bleacher Report.
Yeah, and that was Raw. Basically ending again with Roman Reigns.
It was a little bland for your go-home show before this pay-per-view, this new pay-per-view that Raw is trying to sell to us.
Yes.
With the most awful name ever.
I don't know how you could say that. This theme, Great Balls of Fire. Come on.
Yeah, it's such a great name, and the logo doesn't look like a penis at all.
Hey.
Neither does the name imply.
Listen, that penis, that's your fault. That's your fault for having such a dirty mind. I'm just saying, like, are they just implying that the pay-per-view's gonna suck? Actually, I joke about the pay-per-view sucking balls, but, it actually looks like a pretty good pay-per-view lineup. I mean, come on. They named their pay-per-view after a song made by Jerry Lee Lewis. In fact, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm gonna play Great Balls of Fire.
Oh my god, we're gonna get flagged. Don't play it. We're gonna get flagged.
Oh, that's true, yeah. The Sopa and Pippa actor coming into play. Anyways, oh my god, that's an old reference.
And yeah, that was Raw.
That was Raw.
A pretty,
Suck on those great balls of fire.
Lukewarm show at best.
I actually enjoyed it because we got the Drifter. Just his appearance alone is awesome. We got a good match between Miz and Heath Slater. Cass and Enzo had a good segment. Braun Strowman, just the greatest at everything. Period. End of story. I think after this, I'm going to watch some of Braun Strowman's squash matches, because I'm telling you right now, you may not believe me. My girlfriend can verify this. I'll bring her on one day to verify it. I would piss myself laughing at his squash matches. What pay-per-view was it when Braun faced Sami Zayn? It was the match, 10 minutes. It was...
Oh, yeah, all Sami Zayn had to do was last 10 minutes.
Right. I shit you not. I have to get everybody that was there to verify this. I was in tears the whole time, laughing hysterically. Don't ask me why. It is Braun Strowman just knows how to entertain me when he's just destroying somebody.
Is he your new Miz?
I wouldn't. Miz was just more of me just trolling people. Okay, when I called him God and all that, I did that to troll people because he had a look of douchebag. Okay. Strowman is just more like appreciating the greatness, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does.
Okay.
Totally makes sense. Everybody's digging on Braun Strowman. I don't know if they're digging on him just because they're hoping he's going to beat up Roman Reigns. But everybody's digging on him.
Yes.
Next show, I guess we're going to talk about Smackdown.
Yes. Oh, man. Random off topic. I need some Linder chocolates. Go ahead.
First segment of the night, John Cena returns to SmackDown Live for the first time since his win against Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And not really addressing the whole he's a free agent thing. And from what it sounded like, he's going to be on both shows, question mark?
I did not see this promo. I just remember...
Almost word for word, or from the Bleacher Report, I'm going to read what they put. Cena declares immediately that he is not a full-timer, or a part-timer. He is instead an all-timer, and if he is going to wind down his WWE career, he is going to do it by taking on the best of Raw and SmackDown have to offer. He rattled off a few names, including Roman Reigns, before Rusev came and interrupted the proceedings.
And
so it sounds like he's on both shows, question mark?
Who cares, question mark? I'm just saying.
Everybody wants that match with Roman Reigns. If anybody wants any match with Roman Reigns in it, they want it against John Cena, apparently.
I do?
I want it for totally selfish reasons, because I want to watch the smarks in the crowd be totally confused as to who to cheer for.
Dude, I can already answer that.
What is the answer?
Well, before to answer your question, I have to refer to a video that was uploaded. I think it was around the time that Roman was starting his feud with Rollins for the title, when Roman's was champion.
Mm-hmm.
This was right before Money in the Bank. Somebody had uploaded a video of a compilation of chants at Roman Reigns. A bunch of them. There was Roman sucks, you suck, you still suck, blah, blah, blah. There's one, I don't know what show it was, but it was filmed live. Somebody had a camera, and I'm telling you right now, this, as God is my witness, they chanted, worse than Cena. Worse than Cena.
Is that true? As somebody who's lived through both eras, is that true?
What? Is he worse than Cena?
Roman Reigns right now worse than John Cena at his height when everybody hated John Cena.
When you say worse, are you talking about as a performer or as the hate?
As the hate. As the time when the internet was like, we hate John Cena, we don't want to see him anymore, he's the worst.
Yeah, no.
John Cena at the height of his hate, Roman Reigns at the height of his hate, who is worse?
Roman, by far. By far. Tenfold. By far. I could say that with certainty, because I remember Cena would get hate, but it was never hate that was... There was some...
Even with the incredible New Orleans singing John Cena sucks to the rhythm of his entrance theme.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. They're singing John Cena sucks. They're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. They're fucking having a ball, whatever. When Roman comes out during those Smart Mark crowds, the hate for him is like surreal, like as if they want to kill this guy. I'll put it to you like this, okay? There's only been 2 times, and it also shows the difference between 2 performers. There was only 2 times I can remember Cena getting even close to that type of hate. One was at One Night Stand 06 against Rob Van Dam. The other was at Money in the Bank 2011 against CM Punk. Both extreme circumstances, no pun intended. But, anyways, the way Cena handled both of those situations, way, way better than the way that Roman handled the Raws after WrestleMania 32 and 33. Way different. See, Cena has a great way of working with what he is given. And that's what makes him such an outstanding performer. Roman, on the other hand, he doesn't know how to handle those situations. And everybody likes to proclaim it. I wanted to make a video on this. Everyone wants to proclaim that, oh yeah, he's got everybody in the palm of his hand. No. If you watch that promo the night after WrestleMania 33, he doesn't have the crowd in the palm of his hand. He could say that to himself if he wants to.
He's definitely like trying to find almost an opening to start his promo. And the crowd is not giving him one.
Exactly. The crowd is actually controlling him. The crowd's got him in the palm of their hands, if anything. Now, my thing is, again, the hate that I've lived through both those eras, and seeing full well, going to a lot of live events, as much as John Cena's been hated, I can at least say I see a lot of Cena merchandise. Even this year, I saw a bunch of Cena merchandise. I didn't see a blessed bit of Roman's. The hate is real for this guy. So
I agree. I just wanted to see what your thoughts were.
And one more thing, just to end it on this note. You also got to remember this. Roman is right after Cena. So it's more like... the Roman hate is more like, oh, God, we got to do Cena all over
We got to do it again? Oh, no.
Exactly. So...
The end of that promo with Cena, Rusev comes out, does the whole foreign heel.
Mashka!
No, he's doing Bulgaria at that point. He's not doing the Russian thing.
So no,
it's, SmackDown's on the 4th of July that year, so, this year, so, they do a little of that. It completely just kills any momentum Rusev having essentially his debut on SmackDown.
Well, I think he's on the SmackDown roster.
He's been on the SmackDown roster, but this is his first time since they moved him over.
Yeah, and this is how they bring him on.
And this is how they brought him on, which was, very bland, very lame, and I don't know what they're going to do with Rusev. Rusev's wife's more popular than he is.
And, they're
not doing anything with her right now, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, I'll save it for later.
You win, you're in match. AJ Styles versus Chad Gable. Whoever wins gets to be in the Independence Day Battle Royale to be number 1 contender for the United States title. It's a great match. Very great technical match at the end. AJ Styles shakes Gable's hand.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's a great technical match.
Yeah. I like Chad Gable. I like Jason Jordan. They just don't do anything with them. Like always.
Well, Jason Jordan is injured right now.
That's right. I did not know that.
So a lot of people were speculating that this is Chad Gable's, like, first step into singles. But he did a backstage interview later on in the night that was like he's essentially just waiting for Jason Jordan to come back. That American Alpha is not broken up. Which I am happy with because I love American Alpha.
Yeah.
I liked American Alpha at the very beginning, though, when it was Jason Jordan being, like, serious and Gable being super goofy and just trying to... He's like the nerd who's just trying to be friends with this cool guy. And the cool guy was not having it at first. And then he reluctantly is like, all right, let's do this.
Oh, man, there was a tag team that I was just thinking of that just escaped me that had that same exact dynamic. One was, like, comedic, and the other was... I guess one would be William Regal and Eugene, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. There was a team that I had in mind that was exactly to a T how you described it.
You'll think of it like...
Oh, The Rock and Mick Foley.
Yes, that's a great example. Also a very beloved tag team.
Yeah.
When they were a tag team.
Even though The Rock's funny, but he wasn't as goofy as Mick Foley was.
So yeah, that was a great match.
Yeah, I have no complaints. AJ Styles says that he's got 10 plus years over Chad Gable, and Chad Gable went to the distance with him, so I hope for good things for Chad Gable.
Next, we have a Carmella-bration. A celebration for the one-time, two-time, or first and second and only Miss Money in the Bank. Yeah. Daniel Bryan comes out, tells Ellsworth that since he decided to break the rules after Daniel Bryan barred him from not only ringside but the arena for the second Money in the Bank match, he is going to fine him. He's barring him from the building. He's fining him $10,000. And he is suspended for 30 days. So, and if he breaks any of these conditions, he is going to strip Carmella of the briefcase. So it looks like Ellsworth's going away for a while.
I will say that I love Carmella's theme song. It is so awesome. Carmella is great. James Ellsworth, this is a travesty to him. Who else was it? Oh, yeah, Naomi was out there.
Yes, Naomi came out and essentially said she's ready to defend whenever, wherever.
Now, the second that she came out with that glowing title, what was Staz's reaction?
Hashtag not my champion.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Is he going to go to Orlando, Florida with, like, a picket sign? Or is he going to be like, Kathy Griffin or whatever?
I don't know. He's just, I'm not a fan of the glow title either. It's very reminiscent of John Cena's spinner belt, but
you don't feel the glow?
I do not. I'm not feeling the glow belt. I like Naomi's character. I think what SmackDown has over Raw, or is doing better than Raw in this one aspect when it comes to the women's division, is all the women in the women's division are very distinctively different.
Yeah?
They are all very distinctively different. Looking, moveset, characters. And, Naomi's is part of that. It's very distinctive and different from all of the other women on the SmackDown roster. And I feel the glow. I don't feel the glow belt.
That ain't right.
Not feeling the glow belt.
You need to feel the whole package. That sounded dirty, I know that, but just feel the package.
I'm not feeling the glow belt. I don't hate it, but I'm not feeling it.
I have no opinion on the glow belt as long as it's exclusive to Naomi.
Exactly. Speaking of Naomi and her glow belt, Next up, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, Naomi versus Lana, one more time. And if you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah, I'm trying to debate what was shorter, this or the Brock Goldberg match from Survivor Series.
This is very close. You'd have to get a stopwatch out for that because it was close. After the match, Tamina came and stared down Naomi and essentially looks like she's teaming up with Lana.
Why?
I don't know. There was nothing said about it. It just happened. But it looks like Lana is officially out of the title picture for at least the foreseeable future.
So let me get this straight. This is something that I'm not just fathoming right now, and this is a part where SmackDown is imperfect. Why hype up Lana so much as this big deal coming back and giving her a shot right the fuck away, only for her to not just lose? She didn't just lose. 2 of the out of the 3 matches, she lost very quickly.
I don't know. I guess it's to make Naomi look like a fighting champion, and she will fight anyone, anywhere.
You couldn't, like, get a fucking Emma out there that somebody you're not planning to use?
Well, Emma's on Raw.
I'm not saying Emma, I'm saying an Emma. Like, somebody you clearly have no plans for.
Yeah, they got Lana.
They did have plans for her, apparently, because her gimmick was a stripper.
Is that her gimmick?
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, I can't make out this gimmick, so I'm just going to say she's a stripper. Fuck it. She's posed nudes before, so why not? Or a hooker. I don't know. Actually, no. What did they used to call strippers back in the day? Like back in like the 40s?
Escorts?
No, that's a prostitute.
There's
a name for them.
An exotic dancer?
I guess that's the name. Yeah, exotic dancer. I guess that's what she's supposed to be.
I have no idea, but, record time, out. Lana is probably going away, at least out of the title picture for a little while. Probably we're going to make room for Carmella. Woo-hoo. Although I feel like Carmella needs to be very, heel-like when she, very stereotypical Money in the Bank heel-like when she cashes in.
Yeah. So
maybe she will have this feud with Tamina, and then that's when Carmella is going to cash in.
Yeah. Nothing else to say to
that. Moving on. Here's the controversy for the night. New Day and Usos in a rap battle where literally the Usos talk about Xavier Woods' sex tape.
Oh, they alluded to it.
But still, that's very surprising to me that WWE would let them do that. Although, somebody told me that portion is taken out of the YouTube and Hulu versions.
To anybody who didn't see it, if I have the line correct, it was, "Hey, Big E, let's just keep it PG. You know it's good. Just don't go all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods." So that's the line everyone's raving over.
It's not too bad.
I remember being like, ooh, the burn. Feel it. Feel the glow. Feel the burn. That should be the gimmick now. One of the Usos is married to Naomi, so you got feel the glow, feel the burn. Perfect.
Feel the burn. They did mention Xavier Woods did get to mention how the Usos are only popular because of Naomi.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, this segment was good. I liked it.
It's entertaining. I still like New Day. I think moving them to SmackDown was a good thing because they were getting a little stale on Raw, but
I don't know. I think they still are stale.
I still like it. I still think it's funny. But moving on, Randy Orton versus Aiden English again.
Oh, you mean Cesaro?
No.
He looks like Cesaro.
Let's see.
Did he sing? I think he did sing.
I think he started to sing. Yes,
Him and Elias
yes,
Anderson should be a team.
Should be a tag team.
Yeah, perfect.
Where they just sing.
Yeah, a drifter.
I'm okay with that. He just wanders onto SmackDown.
Yes, and he has to do it how he got on the Raw. He just walks around with a guitar, just plays it like a drifter.
Let's see. After the match, Jinder Mahal comes out and
Maharaja
talks about the Battleground Punjabi prison match. Orton essentially tells him to shut the hell up and nobody likes him and that he is a jackass.
Ooh. Way to feel the burn, Randy.
This is the best version of face Randy Orton. The one where he's like gets to be intense, but also a face.
Keep in mind, people, that ain't saying much.
No, it's not, because face Randy Orton is not his best side. Clearly, Randy Orton's one of those people that just does better as a heel.
I made a comment to my friend Anthony, a personal friend of mine that will watch pay-per-views, and he actually agreed with me on this. And it may not make sense to any of you, but I would say Randy Orton is the only guy in history to be the most underrated and overrated wrestler at the same time.
I agree.
He's overrated and underrated all at the same time. It's mind-boggling. So, that's all I gotta say.
Me too. I don't have much to say because I'm lukewarm on Jinder Mahal and I'm lukewarm on Randy Orton. So this feud just doesn't do anything for me.
Dude, yeah. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Muhammad Mahal.
I want you to say your thoughts on the Independence Day Battle Royale to determine the number one contender for the United States title. We kind of already gave this away earlier on in the show.
Oh, yes.
By saying that AJ Styles won the United States title. So clearly he won the match tonight. Big notes about the match. Dolph Ziggler was eliminated first. And Mojo Rawlings threw out his tag team partner, Zack Ryder. So we might see a Hype Bros split after having them back together for all of 60 seconds?
Wait, was that long?
Yeah, I know. Amazing, huh?
60 seconds? Holy shit. I thought it was at least a good 59 and a half.
I know. Nope.
Damn.
It was a whole 60 seconds, or at least, equivalent to one SmackDown, if we're being serious.
It's not like Zack Ryder matters anymore.
I know, but why break up a tag team? Oh, a popular tag team, too. WWE, yeah, they were pretty popular on SmackDown. And WWE is doing their, yearly tag team purge that they end up doing. Usually all at the same time for some stupid reason.
I don't know. I guess because, they had Mojo Rawley win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and they gotta do something with that.
Because clearly, if you win the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, you move on to just great and amazing things. Cesaro, Baron Corbin,
Baron Corbin's
Mojo
Money in the
Rawley.
Bank.
Finally.
Yeah, Baron Corbin's the only one they're actually doing anything with that won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. The other one was Big Show. And the only reason Big Show won was to just stand near the statue. Like Andre. That's it.
And because he's been bragging about that this match was made for him since they made the match and haven't let him win.
Yeah.
And yes, that is SmackDown.
Yeah, it was whatever SmackDown, because we all know they don't really put effort into their holiday shows because their thought processes.
No, the worst shows, both Raw and SmackDown, are ones that are on holidays. I would say, and feel free to debate me on this, the worst Raw that there is all year every time without fail, the Raw before Christmas
100% agreed.
is
100%.
always awful.
I still, but there was one that was really amazing to me though. It was so.
Was it
awesome.
amazing because it was awful?
Listen, Vince McMahon tells
So
me
that's
that
it.
this stuff is awesome.
So that's a yes.
No. Vince McMahon tells me it's awesome, so it's awesome. It was the one where Del Rio had just turned face, right? And he comes out in his car and he ran over Santa Claus. He ran over Santa Claus. And John Cena was pissed that he ran over Santa Claus and challenged him to a match. So Del Rio went from being a heel, he just turned face, and he went back to being a heel because he ran over Santa Claus. So they have this big match at the end where John Cena and Del Rio are whacking each other with presents, throwing teddy bears at each other. It was so epic. And then, on top of it, Del Rio goes back to being babyface the next week. I
think I blotted that out of my memory.
It was so awesome to see Del Rio turn heel because he ran over Santa Claus.
That's pretty bad.
There's only one other angle that is so awesome, alright? And it was an angle that started a feud. Think about it. Chris Jericho and Kane started their feud because Chris Jericho spilled coffee on Kane. Perfect.
Didn't CM Punk start a feud with somebody because they spilled his Coke at commentary?
Cena! I think it was Cena.
Also,
and it was Diet Coke, by the way.
Yes. Also, JBL started a feud with 2007 Chris Jericho because he fell on his hat.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Holy shit, that's awesome.
Also, Kane started a feud with Randy Orton because he shook his hand and it made him feel weird.
Let's not forget, the last time we had seen Kane in 2011, he got power slammed by Mark Henry and completely forgot about it when he returned. Just like it never happened. And not only that, it's not even like, oh, he just showed up when Cena was in the ring. Mark Henry was there. He had his opportunity to go after him. He just said, I ain't touching that shit again. I'm clean.
Anyways, the point is, WWE shows that end up on holidays are just the worst.
I seriously don't know.
Sometimes they're the worst because they're the worst, and sometimes they're the greatest because they're the worst.
And that same episode with Del Rio, they had all of the superstars on the stage singing Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. It's so fucking, like the reason why this stands out to me was because it landed on a Monday. I think it was Christmas Eve. And I had my family over. And I just turned on Raw just for the hell of it. And seeing all the superstars sing We Wish You Merry Christmas with my family there, staring at at the time, 23-year-old watching this shit. It's the same vein as when Kevin Nash told the story about how he went from being a badass as Diesel to wearing a Santa hat singing We Wish You a Merry Christmas when he became champion. Fuck, why not cut your dick and balls off at that point? Just saying.
So yes, this was a nice show that wasn't us talking about King of the Ring 1995, but we will get to that, ladies and gentlemen, because I have so many things to say about that.
Oh, you watched it, didn't you?
I did.
And you liked it, because Vince told you, right? No, hold on. Vince told you to like it, so you like it.
No,
that's not how a WWE should
work. I will save my thoughts on it for the time that we talk about it.
Yes. Well, first off, we gotta get the visa problems worked out for El Guapo. So
yes, if you guys would like to follow El Guapo, he is Because we didn't, after that whole thing at the end of last week's show of being like, hey, we should maybe talk about our Twitter handle, and then we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you would like to follow El Guapo on the Twitter, it is Guapo_504. If you would like to follow me on Twitter and watch me say very random things, not very often, I am Black Cat Feline on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at Black Cat Feline if you just want to see pictures of me at work.
Monoxide YouTube on Twitter. I rarely post on there. I think I'm the Era of Awesome on Instagram, and I have a Facebook page dedicated to this podcast. So I will link it below. You click a like, please. Get the show going. Because I would like to add more stuff to the show.
Yes, it's been good. I miss Guapo because I feel like you say silly things and I just look at you like you're silly, and I think Guapo indulges you. Granted, it then is impossible to get us back on track.
That is true. El Guapo.
But the show is super interesting. We miss you, Guapo.
Yes, don't worry. Donald Trump is not that evil. We will help you.
But I have enjoyed doing this podcast with you because we haven't done a podcast solo in, God, how many years? Years.
10?
It's been years. It's not been 10 years.
It feels that way.
It's been a very long time because I remember doing them on the original Black Cat Feline channel.
Yeah.
I, in fact, remember an entire 2 videos of you on Skype and me and Deidre, and we are literally doing like 2 hours of playing back and forth to each other random 90s cartoon themes.
It was actually 3 hours.
Was it 3 hours?
Yes, because it went from midnight to about 3 a.m.
It's true. Yeah. It's when we were young and dumb and didn't have to go to work the next day. Well, I didn't. Steve did.
No, I didn't have to go to work that day either. I was on vacation.
Oh, okay.
That week. And now we're just old, dumb, and have to go to work the next day.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, I'm old. I don't know about you, so.
I'm older.
Only in years. Not in size. I don't think.
I'm still bigger than you.
Bigger? I'm like 5'11", 130 pounds. You're like 5'5", like
140 pounds. I could break you over my knee still.
140 pounds? What the fuck?
It's all muscle, man.
I thought you were like 110.
It's all that muscle, man.
You must have bulked up the last time I seen you.
It doesn't look like it, but I have.
Damn.
Sorry. It's from working. It's from doing all that work, man. Start doing some push-ups.
I do. It's my stupid-ass metabolism that allows me to eat 16-ounce ribeye steaks and not gain weight. Why is this podcast still going? Anyways, this is for our little personal conversation, so everybody mind your own business.